Hi, everybody. Stacey here. It is Sunday, June 25th, or July 25th, 2021. How are you all feeling? The energy is really accelerating a lot. There were many of us who were feeling like we were in the doldrums for the past few weeks. There wasn't a sadness, there wasn't a depression. We actually addressed this in our last channeling with the professors, but there wasn't so much a sadness or depression as there was like just no drive or anything to want to do, to really want to do much. That's been lifting. I felt a shift in the energy maybe about 3 hours ago. It's 7:58 p.m. Eastern now. I felt the shift maybe about 3 hours ago. And that's where I checked in with the professors. And they were like, oh, yeah, things are accelerating. And as we're moving now towards the 8/8 Lions Gate, or as that date is coming towards us. So I know they want to talk a little bit about where we are in this current. And so I'm just going to get out of the way, take a couple of breaths, get out of the way, and let them talk. And good day to you, dear friends. Indeed, there has been a shift in how you are experiencing the energy on the planet. You will start feeling the shift incrementally. For those of you who feel as if you have been laden down, feeling as if you are wearing cement boots on your feet, um, feeling as if you really have no desire to do much, you should already start feeling that lifting for you, or you will start feeling it lifting for you. There, much of what you were dealing with collectively, there has been such a polarity that's been happening, and the polarity between the 3D and the 5D, and it's been like a rubber band where it has been pulling and stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched to the limit. And you were feeling stretched to the limit yourselves, in that you were feeling very exhausted, or perhaps you were not feeling the tension so much, but you were feeling in that space of not being able to decide, not being able to make any sort of choices or moves forward, or any of that. And it was because this band of polarity was stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching. It was under so much tension. When anything is under so much tension, it cannot move. That space in between, picture a rubber band, it cannot move. It gets so taut. And that's basically where you were as things were stretching and really pulling between the 3D and the 5D. Now, you are seeing this great polarity on your planet, dear friends, especially for those of you who are living in the United States. You're seeing, and globally, really, you're seeing a lot of a polarity when it comes to this vaccination for your COVID. Lines are being drawn. There is no middle ground here. You are either for the vaccination or you are against the vaccination. There is no middle ground here. There are also other areas in the collective, in the larger picture, where there is great polarity, especially in your United States. You are still dealing with this political polarity. Your one, your You're one party, very deeply opposed and in such complete polarity with the other party. You are seeing it even where there are still some who are building. There's one perspective and one scenario around how your elections went, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there is a polar opposite view of what happened during your election. Or even your uprising in your capital and all of that. You are seeing, and we are just basically using this as an example to show you the polarity and the stretching and the tautness and how things were really pulling. But now here's what happens. Eventually, anything under tension like that is going to snap. And there is a release. Again, let's go back to the analogy of the rubber band. It gets pulled and 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 pulled until eventually it snaps. And what happens in the snapping? There is a release. And that is basically what is happening here between your 3D and your 5D. There has been a complete separation and a complete release. So that is showing up for many of you in that you are feeling a relief. You were feeling the tension in your body, energetically speaking. You were feeling it in that you were not able to move forward. You felt that you were you were not feeling under pressure, although you were putting pressure on yourselves, dear friends, and not be judging and putting yourselves under so much pressure. I cannot make a decision. I cannot move forward. What is wrong with me? Of course, we hear the question constantly, what is wrong with me? And we whisper very gently, nothing, dear friend, just be with it for the time being. So now that tension is broken and there has been a great release, a great releasing. So you can expect yourself to start being able to soar, to start really putting into motion some of the plans that you've been making for yourselves, or some of the things that you've been sketching out for yourselves. You'll start feeling the drive. You'll start getting the inspired thought. You'll start feeling the drive. You'll start hearing the call, the siren song of those things that you are wanting, and you will start moving into and creating those things. And anything that you were even sort of formulating or perhaps even doing before all of this started several weeks ago, you may find that now going forward, you will perhaps leave that off, or you will go into it in a much more broader and expanded way. So we would encourage each of you to take a nice deep breath. For those of you who are consciously working in the 5D and have consciously been waiting for this, we don't want to use the word time frame, but for the sake of this conversation, we will. For those of you who've been waiting for this time frame or waiting for this way of beingness, it is here. It just took some time to fully move in. Now, what has happened is, for those of you who've been working in the 5D, you've created a sort of new overlay in the in the Earth grid, or in the Earth grid, in the magnetics of things, that now you are absolutely able to plug into. You are already plugged into it. Now, the 3D world and all that separation and polarity is still going to continue its way because it is still plugged into that sort of mainframe, you see. But you now, that once everything came, all this polarity, all of this stretching, all of this tension, once it gave way, everything sort of collapsed into itself and a new thing was created. And this new mainframe, or this new grid that now you are connected to, everything here to support you in you wanting to actually live in your 5D heaven on earth, you see. So, and as that date of the 8/8 moves closer to you, And that energy, that great you are great creative beings, and on the planet, you've been able to create some of your creations came into manifestation very easily. Some of them took a little bit of time. Some of them never showed up at all. Much of this had to do with uh, the planetary energies, things not completely lining up yet in order for you to move into that more expansive way of manifesting. Now you will see that things will become much easier going forward. Your 8-8 is all about creator energy. It is all about manifesting in the physical world. It is all about bringing that which your heaven down into earth, your ideas, your heavenly space, your ideas, your imagination, because indeed your imagination is more real than anything you can lay your physical eyes on, dear friends. So bringing that imagination, all those things that you've been wanting to create, all those things that you've been wanting to do, bringing them from heaven, your thoughts, into physical manifestation, and all of the energies that are streaming into earth and that are here and available for you, especially as that 8-8 is moving towards you now. That 8-8 date is moving towards you. You will find the manifestation process much easier for you. Perhaps next time we speak, we'll speak to you about how this manifestation process works for you, how easy it is now for those of you in the 5D. Yes, so perhaps maybe we'll make that another discussion next time we meet. But we will take an energy read before we come to speak to you this time and see if it's even still relevant at that time when we come to speak. But in any case, be joyful, dear friends. Be joyful. Celebrate where you are. Indeed. And with that, we wish you a very good day. Okay, so that's that. I just wanted to pop in and let them talk to you. I said that I would pop in once a week with them. No definite day. It would depend on what's going on with the energy. There may be times we'll pop in a couple of times a week and leave a video for you all. I hope you are having a most wonderful experience in life. Keep breathing. Take your nice deep breaths. Really be in the joy of things. The professors have often said the hardest thing for the human is to just be. As humans, we're so used to doing, and our value, our self-worth is all about what we're doing, what we're accomplishing, what we're doing. And yet the professor said there's so much that is going on just in the being. It's okay to not know what we want to do. It's okay to take naps. It's okay to want to do no thing, because in the no thing, there's so much going on energetically, which I think they talked about last time when I talked about the flower, right? There's so much going on in the earth, and yet we look at a flower and it's just still and it's kind of just there and it's gorgeous and everything, but we don't see any activity. And yet the flower is just being, and yet there's so much activity going on in the unseen. And that's exactly where many of us have been. Many of us might still be there. I know I'm kind of there, still here and there. I'm still kind of there. Every so often I think, oh, I want to do this, like tonight, come and chat with you all. But naps have become my friend. I've never been a napper, but naps have really become a good friend to me. And I'm really learning how to be. And an interesting thing, I'm actually enjoying it. And I know you don't know me. Many of you really don't know me, but I'm a doer. I'm always fiddling. I'm always doing. I'm always active. So it was definitely a big adjustment for me to just be. And now that I adjusted to it, it feels so good. There's also something interesting that happens in the beingness when you just allow yourself to be and go into that imagination and that creative process, or just going into your imagination and really playing in there, or others have said they're not, as others have said, daydreaming. They go into a daydream and sort of picture themselves doing this or that, or this happening or that happening. Joyful things, of course. We want it all to be about the joy now. And but really interesting that when I go into that imagination, I really feel into it and I play with it. I find that it's almost like I'm sketching things out. It's like a drawing board, you know. My imagination is my drawing board. I kind of go there and I sketch things out that I want to do, and then I play with it a little bit, and then if there's something that I'm quite not that I want to tweak, then I can go into my imagination, just tweak it a little bit, and then I feel into it. Say, oh yeah, this feels better. So play in your imaginations. The professors have talked about that a lot in our Radiant Sources weekly meeting and community group. It's a closed group, subscription group for members. And they've been talking, they've talked a lot about that, going into the imagination and saying that the imagination is more real than anything that we can actually set our physical eyes on. We create it all through the imagination. And so I'm really seeing, and then once I start getting a clearer view of certain things, and I just take one small action, just like a small action. Maybe it's just coming to my computer to write something, and something I enjoy, by the way, because if it's not about the joy, forget about it now. So maybe I'll be like, oh, I'm going to just come to my computer and I'll write something. Or I'll come and I'll make a video for you all, or and then an interesting thing happens. It starts just building and doing its own thing from there. Whatever my creative desire, whatever my creative design has been, whatever I've sketched out, it starts coming into manifestation just by taking even the simplest act. Doing something so simple, something not putting a lot of effort or energy into it, in the way of hard work. What I'm finding is putting my joy into something. Wow, that's what speeds it all up and even expands it. And then when I think back, oh wow, I did that in my imagination. Oh, I saw this happening in my imagination. Boom, there it is. So so you may want to play with that. That's really been working. Play with it. Don't work at it. Play with it. Don't get frustrated. Don't go into a place of frustration if you see that it's not working the same way. We all do things in our own time. But everything is lining up for us to be able to do this now. We've been working at this. I'm going to call it ascension. The professors prefer to call it an expansion. But we've been working at this expansion, this ascension / expansion thing for a hell of a long time. And it seems like we get to a certain point and can never break through to get to the other side of that point, to get to where we really want to be, especially when it comes to our manifestations. The surprises are in store, friends. I'm already experiencing a lot of that. So go into your imagination, play with that, and then take some sort of fun, joyous action with it that's in line with what you've been creating there, and allow your imagination to be outrageous. Allow it to be outrageous, because even the things that I, Stacey, deem to be outrageous, I've pumped up. Like, in other words, when I say outrageous, too good to be true. Oh, I would never be able to accomplish that. Guess what? I have. And so can you. So, okay, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And if you're liking what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button. If you want any more information, even about our weekly meetings, the professors really go in depth and in detail there. in our Radiant Sources weekly meeting and community group on Facebook. We do once a week Zoom, live Zoom meetings where you have, it's more of an intimate setting than something like this, where you have complete access to myself and the professors and Madame Blavatsky. You have also, you would have complete access to a private members only room on Facebook. And I'll tell you what, this members only room has really blown me away. I've been on a lot of these spiritual pages, and let's face it, there's so much bullshit and drama on them, it's not even funny. But I'm really, I had a vision for this group. My imagination. I imagined how I wanted this group to be. Very supportive, very loving, very honoring, full of masters who would support, encourage, and honor. And that's exactly what's playing out here in our Radiant Sources weekly meeting and community subscription group on Facebook, our page there. I am blown away. They took what I imagined and made it even grander. Members have taken it and made it even grander than I even imagined. It's very touching. I'm very honored to be a part of it. Not only am I the facilitator, but I'm also a member. So I'm learning and discovering right along with you. Maybe the channeler, but I am learning and discovering right along with you. So if you're interested in joining us, you can visit Radiant Sources. It's RadiantSources.net. You can navigate over to our Radiant Sources weekly meeting and community tab there, on our menu, and read. We offer a free 7-day trial. This way, and you will have access to all of the information, all of the recordings, the weekly recordings we've done since we started a group in September 2020. You'll have access to all of the recordings, all of the information. And you'll also, within that 7 days, you'll get a live, you'll get to join members of the group in a live Zoom with me, myself, and the professors of Madame Blavatsky. You'll be able to join us there, and it allows for a more intimate setting there. You have full access to me and the gang, and my gang of partners here. You have full access to me, lots of one-on-one, and full mentoring from me and professors and Madame Blavatsky. But it's really about the community. It's really about the community and how everyone is really so uplifting, encouraging, and so honoring. So if that's something you think you'd be interested in, check it out. And this way you can take advantage of the 7 days, the 7-day free trial, see if it's something you want, see if it's in alignment with what you want. If you cancel before the 7 days, no monthly fee is not charged to you. So give it a whirl. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your time. Stacey out. Mwah.